Hello, Reds. How are we? A late night episode of obviously Anfield Road TV. As you can see, flooding Wirtz, lol. What a day of ridiculous transfer rumours it has been. Yeah, I think all the journos woke up this morning and were like, yeah, let's get some papers sold, get some articles sold and everything. Like, it's certainly the engagement was absolutely chock-a-blocker. But that's the media world we all live in, and I love it personally because it's good fun to believe all these articles, the rumours, and anyway. But until they do the Axeline, as we all know, that's the certainly been. I think we've all been scarred by the Nabil Fekir. Well, he was in a Liverpool kit and it was already boxed off, and then last minute it fell over. But as you can see from the title and the thumbnail tonight, chat, there's a couple of bits we'll go through. I'd say we've analysed the Wirtz transfer. Is it going to happen? Absolutely no chance, really. I'd love it to happen. I think we all would. Certainly, he's a player with immense ability. We'll speak about it. Have a little look at his stats and all that. But I'd love it to happen, Reds. And I tell you what, if Richard Hughes pulled this transfer off, then wow. Absolutely wow. Yeah. What a start to the job. Getting Arnie Slot in, getting Wirtz in. But we can dream, Reds. That's what we can do anyway. Will it happen? Probably not anyway. And if anyone's watching on the repeat, watch the video first, because I've started off saying that we're not going to get him anyway. Because you'd always get the occasional sausage in the comments going, see the title. It's like, you actually want to spend even 10 seconds of the video. But, yeah, headlines and all that, clicking into it. But, chat, yeah, Wirtz, a bit about Chiesa as well, being linked away from Liverpool, which is, he's turned up. He's played about 5-6 games anyway, spanning probably about 2 hours of football, won a Premier League title, and he's probably going to go back to Italy. That's sound, isn't it? He's just been there for the vibes and the coffee at the AXA training facility. I don't blame him. Looks an absolutely fantastic facility, by the way, as well. But let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, how you've gauged. I think obviously a lot of you will be watching this on Thursday morning as well, obviously waking up. So please do let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. What was your first initial analysis when you're seeing all the stories and all that? I'd say, yeah. Speak about obviously Frimpong as well. Yeah, as we all know, I think we started off the beginning of this week. Everyone was just going mad off like some random image off the motorway as well. Like it's like anyone. Like, we've all got cameras and that. So yeah, it's. But given I've been on YouTube about nearly touching 10 years now, and as I said, we've been through absolutely everything on this channel. Fekir, Zupimendi, Saicedo. I think I've done about 3 videos in the space of 2 hours, and then woke up and I looked at my phone and they had about 50 notifications saying he hadn't signed, and a million messages in the live video after it being gone out saying he hasn't signed. Nice one, lads. Hindsight is a wonderful thing in life. So yeah, we'll speak about obviously the Frimpong. I don't think we'll get Frimpong or Florian Wirtz. I'd love them both. From Frimpong, I know a lot of the fan base aren't too sold on him. I'm not 100% sold, but I could certainly see him depending on other incoming signings into the club if we strengthened, and we'll speak about that as well. I've got a couple of signings that I'd like Liverpool. Me personally, you could probably laugh your head off and probably go awful signings, but my honest opinion, players that I do kind of like really in regards to when I've seen him over the last couple of seasons really, and always felt, and especially in an Arnie Slot system as well, I do feel I've got like 2 or 3 names that not like Richard Hughes is going to be watching the video anyway, but I'd be interested to see what the data lads would think about those players anyway. So probably a couple of the main ones really. But Florian Wirtz, we'll start with the first one tonight, Reds. We had David Ornstein, we had absolutely everyone going berserk. Every single journalist was out in terms of, and I'm just going to pull this little image up anyway. As we mentioned, Zupermendi, one of the best regarded journalists out there, David Ornstein. But as is the case in journalism, you can write a story like the first hour, and then obviously the story can very quickly develop in the world of transfers as well. So as we know, me being a news channel over the years as well, like it changes every 10 minutes. So like you can do a video 1 minute and then like 20 minutes later it's old news, really, as is the world of media, the ever-changing cycle of if you are like covering sports news and just news in general, really. So yeah, Florian Wirtz, obviously David Ornstein. So I'll just quickly bring up this just to very much counterbalance what we've seen, really. As we said with David Ornstein, we did see on the Caicedo transfer, he did say Liverpool have reached an agreement with Brighton to sign Moses Caicedo for a British record fee. That was the video that I'd done 3 videos in the space of like 10 hours and then woke up. So there was that one, Martin Zupermendi, him and his mountains, eh? And then Kvaratskhelia, but the main one with that Kvaratskhelia one kind of worded similar to Florian Wirtz, really, in regards to David Ornstein's not saying officially Liverpool going into it. It's just like they've expressed an interest or the eye em up, really. But yeah, the Kvaratskhelia one was we loved it. We loved the 10 minutes of potential joy, and we loved the headlines. That's probably one transfer that, considering how much he absolutely battered us over the 2 legs, and how much he battered Arsenal. Nice one, Kravak. Absolutely done us a solid there, really. So yeah, just those 3 in terms of reference. But as we know, just as I said before, the world of media can very quickly change. We could probably wake up tomorrow and yeah, a lot more of the other journalists will very much shoot it down, really. But we've had like Paul Joyce, we've had a lot of the very well respected journalists out there covering the Liverpool scene. Time will tell. I think we'll find out a lot more, certainly, in regards to as if you are waking up on Thursday morning watching this as well. So yeah, take it with a massive pinch of salt, really, Reds, when seeing this. Do I think we'll get him? No. As I said on Anfield Index yesterday as well, I feel personally Florian will very much move to Real Madrid. But it's massively dependent on, for me personally, them moving on one of the 4. Well, they're not going to lose Bellingham, but I'd say possibly. I know, was it Rodrigo come out this evening in like obviously the hyperbolic chamber or the sports science chamber that they have in every football team. He sat there and just told everyone in the world of journalism to stop telling lies. Sorry, Rodrigo, yeah, certainly wasn't having to go with me anyway, but he's the big journalist anyway. But yeah, just to say, stop telling lies. So that was on his social media post this evening to very much dispel. Ozan, lad, how are we, bud? Good to see you in the comments, mate. Thank you for tuning in and dropping a comment in, as always, lad. I'll be flying in super happy. How are you, Ozan? Happy days, lad, when you play centre-back. Hopefully, bud, I think the world and the Nans are descending on Merseyside as well. Don't let Wayne Rooney there. But yeah, everyone's turning into very much to Liverpool, really, in terms of everyone. But Ozan, have you got Twitter, lad? I just tend to use Twitter, bud. As I say, just drop us a message on Twitter, really, mate. And yeah, if you're around, because it's in excess, I think I've seen Liverpool Echo article this week. I think it was in excess of potentially over 1 million is expected. Whether we get that in Liverpool, then it's possible. Very possible. The last parade, that was only the FA Cup and the League Cup. And there was I think like just under 500,000. And that was for the FA Cup and the League Cup. The Cup double. But this one is being in the pipeworks for 35 years. There's, like me, you've never seen Liverpool parade a Premier League trophy on the streets of Liverpool. And yeah, like everyone up to the age of 35. I'm 30 anyway. This year, And yeah, it's going to be special. So, Ozan, if I don't see you, mate, as I said, everyone's like, oh, could I see you? It's can only be in one place at one time, sadly. If there was 20 of me, then I'd get a lot more done anyway. But it'd be nice to see you, bud. But if I don't, I'm sure we'll discuss as we have over the years, mate, in terms of just as long as you have a good time, mate, that's the most important thing. And if you ever get lost in Liverpool, bud, ask for directions. Any scouser will very much happily help you, even the Blues as well, as long as you're not wearing your Liverpool kit. Just ask for directions and you'll be sound. But yeah, Liverpool's a very welcoming city, Mason. We always help each other out as much as we possibly can, and doesn't matter even if you are a scouser. Everyone's welcome, mate. So yeah, we like to help everyone. But yeah, if I don't see you, buds, enjoy it. Yeah, we've got 2 weeks still left to go anyway, and yeah, the downside for not just Liverpool, but I think in just big events in general is obviously the cost for everyone. Doesn't matter like if you're celebrating a Atletico Madrid title parade or whatever. Just in general, it's the world we live in, like the hotel prices and everything. But the main thing is the city of Liverpool is going to be making a lot of money, which is the main thing. A lot of the local businesses will be massively benefiting, and it's going to be doing a lot for the economy as well, so that's only good, really. I think everyone benefits, really, everyone, really, even the Blues. But yeah, it's going to be great for the economy and everything. And Ozan, I've not been, but what's that place? The Baltic Triangle. It's very posh round there. I've only been like once. But that's if you're down that end, obviously the back end, like a Liverpool. Obviously, if you go past the docks, you won't have a clue. Like no one, unless you live. No, I don't know why I'm pointing. It's probably over there anyway. But the Baltic Triangle has got a couple of nice. I mean, to do like a fan park and all that. But there'll be pop-ups absolutely everywhere on Liverpool. There'll probably Stanley Park, Anfield. I'm pretty sure they'll probably be doing big events over there as well. So just enjoy it, lad. And yeah. Let's all, and I know certainly we all do. I know you've been shouting at me this season, going, "You're too confident." But I've got a massive feeling we're going to be going back to back Premier League champions anyway. City, they can spend another 300 million. Pep can lose his mind again, but I think City are a good year or bit away from being back to where they were, and I don't even think it's just a case of bringing back Rodri. The so disjointed this season, even without a DM. I know he's the world's greatest DM at this moment in time, prior to his injury. Ballon d'Or winner, of course, but I personally, it's that big issue with Haaland as well. I think he'll be sold in the next couple of seasons. I've said this for a couple of seasons anyway. He just doesn't fit the Manchester City profile as well. So yeah, Florian Wirtz chat. Let us know your thoughts on that. That's going to be a bit of a mad one, really. I don't think it'll happen. So yeah, just a summary, really. Obviously, the Wirtz stories we've had. But as we said, that's translated from German. SZ Sport. Yeah, just to highlight really some of the headlines and madness stories we've been getting over the last 48 hours. Florian Wirtz is flying to England with his parents to talk about, 150 odd million. Yeah, I just don't foresee that world anyway. And I know I've seen a lot of people say that they've said 150 million is over too much for Florian Wirtz, but the grand scheme of things in the modern era of football, 150 million it's good value. I know people might laugh and go, "What, good value, 150 million?" But for the type of calibre of player, we'll have a little look at his data in a bit anyway. But I'm telling you, if he stayed at Liverpool for 8-10 years or whatever, and it'd be, even if he won like 3-4 league titles with Liverpool, it's 100% worth it in the end anyway. But highly talented player. Do I think we'll get him? No. But if we did, then, bosh, we're definitely going back to back in the Premier League titles anyway. But that's the type of profile Liverpool should be going for, really. We've just won the league. We're wanting to go much further in the Champions League as well. And the one thing Liverpool didn't do when we did win the league last time, or did win the Champions League, is capitalise on opportunities. Like, if you every player in world football will be looking at Liverpool's parade in a couple of weeks, and they'll certainly, those Premier League images of Liverpool lifting the Premier League and Virgil van Dijk lifting the trophy above his head for the first time, and it won't be the last time anyway. Like, the Premier League is the most watched league in world football. Every single player, if you've got a good agent, and if you're more than a half decent footballer, you've got to be one of the world's best footballers. But if you say to your agent, I wouldn't mind turning to Liverpool. I want to test myself, and that's the main thing for any player. As long as they're good enough, and you've got to show ambition. If you can't go to Real Madrid, come to Liverpool, man. Like, because not everyone can play for Real Madrid, and not a lot of people can play for Liverpool either. You've got to be a very select and elite level player, and they're the levels now that Arnold is certainly incorporated within the squad. He's carried on what Jurgen done really well in terms of building the football club up now. We're at such an elite level now, we can't be allowing ourselves to drop down and become like a 5th, 6th, 7th place team. We've been there for far too long, 10 years prior to Jurgen Klopp coming in. We've everyone at the football club, all the players as well, that will be possibly maybe moving on in the next year or so, but the football club needs to go out and buy a player like Wirtz. Do I think we'll get him? No. But that's the type of profile that we should be aiming for, really. But if the data lads can see maybe a similar type profile for like 50 or certainly £100 million less, then great, because it'd help Liverpool sign in other areas. But yeah, it's fantasy dreamland, that really, Reds. But yeah, let us know your thoughts on that one. Just get to your comments as well. Ozan. So, in Chester. Ozan. You with all the footy players there, like Chester. Oh, that is very posh there, Ozan. Probably paid about 10 grand for 2 nights, haven't you, bud? But, yeah, certainly that's very nice up in Cheshire. I think, yeah, all the footballers live around there anyway. The majority of Man City and the Liverpool players, I think, anyway. But a very nice place to go, Ozan. That's a good, I'd say, in a taxi. My geography's awful. Anyway, got a D, so you probably it's about half an hour on the train. I'd say about 45, 50 minutes. Depends if you come off the motorway. Like, I know how to drive on a motorway myself, so Chatham Bay Wham there, Ozan anyway. Just Google it, lad, but it's a nice place, Cheshire. Very posh indeed. But yeah, back to, now we're getting 21, bud, anyway. 21 is coming, mate. The news. Jay, have you had a breather, lads? Because, yeah, that's why I'm sitting back tonight, because it's, Jay, what did you gauge of all an absolute utter madness? I'm okay, bud. We had a fair bit, a couple of videos to edit, mate, anyway, and it was, it was enjoyable. It was, yeah, but, like, I just find it mad. Obviously, you've probably been watching me, Jay, on my channel for the last couple of years as well. I just find it, I'm used to all the comments as well, like, it just goes over my head anyway. It's like when people, like, are not listening to what you're saying, it's like, in terms of, like, I don't think we'll be getting them, but you say it, it's like, no, like, we're all rational, and it's, yeah. So, Jay, are we all on the Wirtz hype train anyway? We were this morning, but yeah, we'd love it, but it's not going to happen, is it, mate? But I hope you're well, Jay. Nice one for tuning in, bud. Chat, if you can, drop a like on the video as well. Be much appreciated. 12 of yous in, only 8 likes. What are you doing? Drop a like on that as well. But how are we, Phil? Phil, lad. Late night stream? Yeah, it's only a bit of time anyway. I'll be up early tomorrow. Keep on grinding. But yeah, as I said, chat, probably be 1 video a week. I'm starting to hopefully just chop the videos up and then stagger them throughout the week. It's a lot more easier that way anyway. So if you're watching the video again, it'll be getting released throughout, like, different parts of the stream anyway. So, but Phil, how are we, lad? And Phil, what's your thoughts? Or chats, if you just tuned in, what are you saying on Wirtz? Good player, certainly, but yeah, if you're just tuning in, rewind if you want to watch from the beginning anyway. So, in terms of that one, have I missed something? Yeah, there we go. That was a good one. Dean Huijsen chat as well. This one was a foregone conclusion months ago, really, wasn't it, Reds? I think we've all seen the Dean Huijsen interviews on. I think he's done quite a fair bit, a couple of social media, football YouTube channels where he's just, it's like one of us, really. He's like a fan, but I think him being 20 odd years old probably watches a lot of YouTube anyway. But I think he's got quite a fair couple of mates that do YouTube as well. I think hence the interview access. It's quite rare that you do see a Premier League footballer be as open, really. But I think the players coming through now, they're a lot more not saying media trained, but they're a lot more media savvy, really, in regards to obviously how to deal with the press and everything. But obviously, you have to media train certain individual players because you can't stick a camera in front of them because some of them would just, yeah, announce that they're leaving the football club by accident or whatnot. But yeah, top player, Reds, and I think he's going to be instrumental to what Xabi Alonso wants to do in his Real Madrid system. Obviously, as we know, Bayer Leverkusen play with a 3-back, or did under Xabi Alonso. The main key position is going to be very interesting for Real Madrid, is going to be that left-hand side of their midfield. They are crying out. Mendy, he's injured again, I think. Mendy's injured. Fran Garcia, they've got left-back as well. He's not going to be so Huijsen chat. Big up there, Phillips. Yeah, as you can see there, but looks like he'll be going to Real Madrid, fella. He'll be going to Real Madrid, and I think obviously Spanish lad himself anyway. Obviously Spanish national now, so he'll be going to Real Madrid. And it looks like Romano is stating the release clause will be paid by the end of 2026 as well. Done deal to the club, with 50 million. The green light needed to proceed to seal the deal. But yeah, it was the worst kept secret in European football, this transfer. It was nice being linked with a player of that quality, but I think when you've got Dean Huijsen, quite candidly, as we mentioned with those interviews on YouTube, he's been quite open. He's been quite open in terms of praise for Liverpool as well. That's where I do think a lot of because when he's been doing these interviews, he spoke about Real Madrid, he spoke about Liverpool and his admiration for Virgil van Dijk in terms of how much, like, when he's played against him, he's really enjoyed learning from him, really. But yeah, it's he'll do really well, chat, if I'm being honest. You look at Real Madrid centre-halves, Militao, Rudiger. I'm intrigued to see Rudiger in a Real Madrid system as well, because he's an extremely aggressive centre-half. He's a good centre-half, but as we know, I think, was it Rudiger played in the Thomas Tuchel? Chat, do you know if Rudiger was the centre-half in the Tuchel back three? Or was Rudiger the one of the three on the side? Because obviously you had... Did Rudiger play with Thiago Silva? Chat, let us know. You'll probably correct me anyway. But I'm trying to remember. Tuchel. Because obviously he left Real Madrid. He left to join Real Madrid on a free, wasn't it? I think Rudiger joined on a free. They've signed that many bloody players on a free, Real Madrid. And the main one is that they don't sign Canate on a free. That'd be extremely annoying if we're all being honest. So, Reds, sadly, looks like Dean Huijsen will be joining Real Madrid, but as we said, worst kept secret in European football. He's going to do really well. He's such a great technical footballer, and I think what he showed already at such a young age in the Premier League as well, Reds, it's he's going to be taken he's going to look like prime Maldini in La Liga, if I'm being honest. The physicality of the Premier League. If you leave the Premier League and you're a good centre-half like Huijsen is, I know everyone's still saying he's got massive areas to improve, but the fact that he's playing at such an elite level for his age bracket, really, in the Premier League, many centre-halves cannot do what he's been doing. So he's going to be going to the La Liga, and he's going to fit it like a glove, really. He's wanted straight away. You only have to look at, was it Christensen at Chelsea? He moved to Barcelona. It was a couple of seasons ago. And he done extremely well. And he wasn't necessarily regarded as one of the greatest players in the Premier League as a centre-half for Chelsea, but he adapted really well. And for me, he was underrated centre-half in the Premier League, but he done really well. And Huijsen's done an absolutely fly high, really. The main thing is, as I said, that left-hand side of Real Madrid, getting that sorted. Obviously, the Grimaldo position that Real Madrid, they need that left-hand side, like left full-back. Will be interesting. Chat, who do you reckon Real Madrid might possibly get? Because I think, Alonso, it's the main thing is with Trent as well. I have to mention Trent on a stream. Where's Trent going to be playing? Because if he's going to be playing that Frimpong role, chat, he's going to get absolutely... He's not got the recovery pace unless they switch in-game in certain moments and second transitions. I think they might play Valverde as a right wing back, which is... He's played right back certain moments this season, obviously the Uruguayan, but I just hate seeing him playing right back. Like, Valverde, centre mid. I love him. One of my favourite midfielders in European football. He's a player that I'd love us to sign, but no chance of signing him anyway, because they'd want 100 odd million. It's never going to happen. But putting him in the midfield, but we know Real Madrid, the last 12 months have been an absolute joke in terms of the forward four, really. The one player that gets the worst amount of stick is, for me, I personally feel, is the better out of the four in terms of how he's performed over the last couple of seasons, is Rodrigo. Just because he's not the biggest name like Bellingham, Mbappe, and Vinny Jr. Like, if you didn't sacrifice one of them, for me, if it was a Real Madrid fan, it certainly wouldn't be Rodrigo. So it's going to be interesting if you play with 2 10s behind, obviously, Kylian Mbappe up front. It'd probably be Jude and Vinny Jr. you'd expect in behind. But this is why I do think Florian Wirtz might go to Real Madrid, chat. Maybe having Jude Bellingham and... Oh, Jude couldn't play left mid, could he? No chance. I know he's played there for a small percentage of time for Ancelotti in certain games and certain times in his career in Borussia Dortmund. He's played as a left midfielder in certain games, not a load of his career, but yeah, it's going to be interesting, chat, because if Alonso wants to get his own way, but I think there was a report over last week as well saying that he's not going to be getting his individual players, it's going to be the club, which, if that's the case, and the Real Madrid and Perez are buying him players, and they're not going to suit his system. Like, Huijsen is a centre-half, he'll fit in really well, technical, but it's mainly that left mid position for Real, and certainly how they transition Trent into the team, if he's going to be a right-sided attack, if he's going to be playing the Frimpong role for Xabi Alonso, or if he's going to be playing a bit more of a central number 6 role. Yeah, because if he plays right mid for Real Madrid, I think he'll really struggle. But I think he'll need to get a lot of help from Valverde from those recovering. But it might be a bit easier if he's got someone behind him with a bit more pace. Eder Militao, when he's not injured, he's very quick over the ground, as we know, Eder Militao. But there we go, buds. But yeah, he's a good forward, and that's what we need. Yeah, Phil, I'm hyped for Wirtz, mate. For what I've seen in Champions League, and like I watched quite a fair bit of Leverkusen last season, like everyone did, because we were all watching them to say like, are they actually gonna get beat this week? Bit similar when everyone was watching Leicester. It's like if it had like a little cheeky actor on, like Vard, when Leicester won the league. Like, it was free money. Like, everyone would be putting Vardy on and Leicester to win. And you'd be making PR bank because he was doing it every single week, wasn't he? So, yeah, Phil. So, I'd love him, Florian Wirtz, mate. But sadly, it's a dream, really. But you never know. Richard Hughes, might actually put his foot down, really. Chiesa to Napoli. This is very sad, mainly because the Federico Chiesa song is an absolute bloody banger. If anyone went to the game at the weekend, would have heard it on the concourse. Like, it was popping off even before our time, and like pre-match and post-match. Like, it's going to be sad, because if this deal does come to fruition, really, Federico, he'll just turn up in the Premier League, win a league title, probably go to Napoli and win a birthday on the bounce if Conte still stays at Napoli. But yeah, 27. We've just got a habit of like signing Italian like Serie A players, getting them fully fit, and then flogging them back to Italy. Arthur Melo, chat. Arthur Melo played a whole season after using our training facility as a whole season I think he went a whole season with Fiorentina, not getting injured. But I suppose the state of the art facilities at Liverpool I think the facilities in England are much better than Italy. Obviously, Juve might have quite a fair big complex, but the other teams in Italy might struggle really in terms of it's not a lot of money compared to obviously the Premier League. So, chat, thoughts on that one? I'll be disappointed, but not surprised really if Fedi does leave. 27 years old. He personally might try and stay at the football club, because as we've seen on the AXA training videos, never letting him just pottering about really in terms of the training. He's chilling, he's happy, and right, so it's like that great environment that we've had. But given that Arne, he just doesn't, not that he doesn't rate him, I just don't think Arne foresees him in Liverpool's system, because he's certainly a very talented footballer, but just not suited for Liverpool really. I think that's the main thing. Because if he went to Napoli, I think he'll be ideal in terms of replacing Kvaratskhelia. I think if you put, as we know, Chiesa can play down the left wing, right wing, and even certain moments in the right system through the middle as well. So yeah, I think he'd be the ideal replacement for Kvaratskhelia really. But as you can see there, Liverpool are insisting on an obligation to buy. Chiesa himself is reported to be excited about the potential Serie A return, and that's coming from a Gazzetta dello Sport in Italy as well. So yeah, it's one of them really, Reds. They've made a proposal for a loan with an obligation, an option to buy, but Liverpool insist on a obligation. So if he is to leave Liverpool next season on a loan, Liverpool need to get a buyback clause in that contract, really. An official, none of this notion of like Chiesa playing 25. If he triggers a 26 game, like, just no. If he plays for Napoli, but as we know with certain loan things, it's about active triggering, because we've seen players go out. Was it Antonio Griezmann? Was it Alvarez or Griezmann, chat? That was at Atletico Madrid, and they were playing him for like 45-minute stints. Was it Alvarez or whoever? Like, you see that with certain loans, like obviously with certain contracts and like obligations to buy. You're seeing players getting like, if you play over like 30 games with like over 60 minutes in each game, like coaches are taking them off on like the 59th minute, which is fair enough on the club, because then certain individual clubs don't have to trigger the buyouts, like if you play over a certain amount of games as well. So one of them, chat. Will be sad, mainly because of Chiesa, but he's a Premier League winner, chat, if you didn't know. But yeah, if you're going back to, I mean, he's ideal for Napoli. But the main thing is, come on, Napoli, you're going to be winning the league this season. Give us the money, and especially obviously give us some of that Osimhen money as well. If you do flog him, you'll have money. So yeah, let's wait for Frimpong to play. I'm guessing you're excited, bud. You love a caps lock, don't you, lad? I think you got the caps lock on there, bud. But yeah, where to be at buying, but it'll be nice to dream now. That's the thing, Jay, innit? We can dream, fella. We can certainly dream. Yeah, that's the reality in it, mate. Like most, as we know, most German players, especially the top ones as well, and the fact that Thomas Muller has left, as we know, it's more or less like a, a like for like, really. Thomas Muller, wow, one of the most one of the most disrespected footballers over the last 15, 20 odd years, really. He's a lad that, for me personally, didn't get a lot of plaudits outside of Germany. I think when he went through that period of just scoring so many goals in the World Cup, did he beat Klaus's record? I think he did, didn't he? In World Cup, it felt like every single tournament he went with in Germany, it was just banging in goals. He had that kind of knack of just being in the right place at the right time. But as he's got older, he's lost a lot of his pace. But what he hasn't lost is that ability to spot where he's got to be on the pitch, really. You don't stay at a club like Bayern Munich for that long if you're not a half decent footballer anyway. So yeah, top talent, man. But sadly, he's not a spring chicken, really. Got a final last one bit, really, here, chat. We'll have a little look. Jumped ahead there, really, chat. 1 second. So, Florian Wirtz. If it loads. 1 second there, chat. So, Florian. Obviously, Bundesliga winner. Well, the German FA Cup, anyway. The polka. Can you see that? There we go. So, his valuation. Look at that valuation, chat. No chance for getting them. Well, there's always a chance. But as we said, this season, 30 odd appearances, 10 goals, 13 assists. Champions League, 9 appearances, 6 goals, 1 assist, which is very good, to say the least. Obviously, Liverpool did play Bayer Leverkusen last season. Well, this season, technically, and we battered them, which was great to see. Predominantly, as we know, attacking midfielder, but can operate on the left and right wing. But yeah, obviously, at the end of this season, he'll have, as you can see there, 2 years left on his contract. So maybe we can just keep, even if he stayed there. But as you can see there, Germany, 29 appearances, 6 goals for the German national side anyway. It's quite a fair amount of games, considering obviously he's only 22 as well. So yeah, do I think we'll get him, Reds? No, I don't think any of us do, really. But in terms of looking at his data, I'd have a little look. Maybe 1 second here, Charles. Hello. There we go. So we'll have a little look on FB Ref in terms of, this is obviously this season. I had a little look on this morning as well. Interesting profile, Reds. I think in terms of one of the best profiles in terms of attack and midfield options, really. Him, Musiala. Obviously, a mouth speaks for himself. Ridiculous footballer. But in terms of his profile, in terms of his age range, I think only possible him, and we missed a massive trick not getting Elise Chat. I can't believe no one in the Premier League went and got Elise. I find it absolutely staggering, really. But in terms of profiles, Florian Wirtz and Elise, 2 of the best attacking young players in European football. But great statistics. I want to have a little look in terms of Elise's statistics this season, because he's been ridiculous. 11 goals, 14 assists. We all knew his quality in the Premier League. Like, look at that. How did Liverpool or anyone in the Premier League, all the data department must have been looking at this going, there must have been something that the data department at Liverpool or other Premier League sides, it'd be intriguing to see why they didn't go for them. Like, because it's like, and I know Eze, he's a lot older than Elise, but I even watch Eze and I'm wondering, like, why another top sides, obviously not quite, I don't think he's got quite that ability, Eze, to make that jump up, but he's still a very good player. But yeah, look at that data, man. It's an absolute joke in terms of how good he is. Desiree Doué as well. So you're looking at Wirtz, Musiala, Desiree Doué as well. 19 odd years old. Yes, these are the best young players in the business. And for me, even Liverpool really, chat, why shouldn't we dream of having like an Ezra Due, a Musiala? The main, probably at the minute now, you're looking at valuation, you'd never get them. But that just annoys me a bit, like we just said with Elise there. If we can just start getting, I know it's not as easy just saying get these players before they make that big jump, but we just need to start like not unearthing some of these gems, because Elise's quality was there. I'm not a massive watcher of the French league, chat, if I'm being honest, but certainly as Desiree Doué would have been coming up in certain data departments as well, but you do wonder. Obviously Musiala as well, similar, well, exact same age profile as well, so even there. But I think Florian Wirtz is, for me personally, I think he's better than Musiala, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I just find that staggering. Right, chat. Why do you think, like, in terms of Elise, chat, why do you think not a lot of the Premier League clubs went for them? Because certainly they would have been on the radar a bit before Bayern Munich, really, but just that angers me really in terms of just looking at how good Elise's been. Like, especially, like, you look at, no respect to Elliot, I love him as a player, but in terms of what's out there at the market, yeah, you can improve in that attacking midfield role, especially even if it's like a player coming off the bench. But I suppose Elise was the main question with Elise. He probably looked at Liverpool, and Liverpool were probably in for him, but he probably looked at Liverpool's forward line and went, I'm not going to get ahead of Salah. But, because obviously Elise plays predominantly down that right-hand side, right wing, attacking midfield role, can play in the little pockets as well. So I can understand why, if Liverpool did go in for them, it's probably looking at Salah and going, he probably backs his own ability, but it's like, am I going to shift Salah out? Especially after the season he's had this season. He's probably like, yep, made the right decision anyway. But Florian Wirtz, chat, very talented footballer. Apologies there, chat. Move it over there. So it's one of them really. Annoys me really, even being honest. It seems to not really. Here we go, chat. 1 second. So, in terms of that, Frimpong, chat, another madness transfer really. Let's get to a couple of your comments as well, Reds. Frimpong's, yeah. So as you said there, Jay, it's a bit of a mad one really, but why is that text gone bigger? Sorry, chat. Yeah. Oh yeah, I can just move that up. There we go. 1 second. Yeah, there we go. Much better, you can see that now. So yeah, chat, let us know. There we go. Hope that hasn't cut off. There you go, yeah. All good. So, Frimpong, chat. Profile wise, I just don't get this like signing. I'd like to see him at Liverpool, just mainly for the absolute banter of seeing him at like work in Liverpool. Profile wise, doesn't fit, but he could fit depending on if Liverpool went out and got a more defensive left-sided defender, and we got a lot more protection, and maybe got a more controlling number 6 as well. So it's gonna be one of them really, Reds. I don't like, in terms of his output, in terms of creativity wise, he's one of the most creative fullbacks. Probably the second most creative fullback over the last couple of seasons, really, when you look at his data in terms of what he has produced. Obviously, 5 goals, 6 assists already this season in the Bundesliga. I have to go back a couple of seasons as well, but he's been getting on average in and around 6 goal contributions. 6 goals, 6 assists on an average in his 4 or 5 years in the Bundesliga as well. So He's a good creator, but his defensive side of his game is left to very much to warrant, really. So let's go a quick look at that, really, chat. Because, like, you look at these defensive metrics. Could he improve that? Yes. But look at that. Like, tackles in the 5 percentile, interceptions 3, blocks 37. But when you analyse this, I think this is down as a... Is it positional wise? Is it got him down as a... It doesn't see what position this is. Oh, yeah. Like, so that's fullback. And then you look at that. Oh, attacking mid/winger as well. So, I don't know with this FB ref chat. Apologies, I should have checked. But I'm guessing the fullback includes attacking wing-back contributions as well. I don't think it's like an out-and-out right defensive, like, not defensive, but a right-back. So, yeah, it's not good enough, really, at all. Even being honest. Do I think he could come to Liverpool and do a job in a certain role? But if it asked him to be an out-and-out right-back in Liverpool's system, I think he could struggle, certainly. He could struggle. His pace can only get him out in certain situations, if I'm being honest. The one thing, as we said already this week, chat, when we all analysed Kyle Walker, the one thing... Well, Kyle Walker was an extremely... I've got to be careful what I say. His pace got him out of it. He was an okay fullback. Wouldn't say he was one of the world's best. But I think if you put Kyle Walker back into that Tottenham Hotspur side, in which prior to his move to, obviously, Manchester City, but I think the fact that Kyle Walker had some of the best players, well, if not some, yeah, the best defenders, best midfielders surrounding them, and from a technical point of view, he had some of the best players in a position that I do watch. I've watched Kyle Walker. I know everyone go, he's a serial Premier League winner, and that's great. But if Kyle Walker was in, say, an Everton team, or like the old Spurs team that he was prior to his move, I think he would have struggled. But his pace, Kyle Walker, got him out of a lot of situations, really. And certainly his physicality as well. Kyle Walker, that's one aspect of his game that he did have, was his stature, and that's why I'm bringing him up. Frimpong, I think he's about 5'4", 5'5" as well. He's not the tallest of players. He's not got the frame of a Kyle Walker to very much combine his pace with his physicality, really. Yeah, I do struggle to see that, really, Reds, being honest. So, we've had, 6, 7, 8 years of watching Trent right back. And the one aspect of Trent's game that he did miss, which was not a lot of things that he did miss in his game. Obviously, Trent could have improved defensively better as well, but we knew you could counterbalance that with what he could do on a football pitch going forward. And that's what's annoying, because you've got Trent going to Real Madrid now, and we've been defending Trent on the hill every single weekend for the last 7, 8 years with all these rival fans. Just, yeah. So, with Frimpong, he needs, like, if Arne Slot can, if we did get Frimpong, chat, and Arne Slot turned around Frimpong's defensive side of his game, greatest manager in world football, like, for the last 10 years, mate. Because if Arne Slot can just look at that data, and the data lads look at that, and look at the defensive statistics, they must be looking at something completely different. Because if it is accurate that Liverpool are going for Frimpong, they must be looking at something completely different. Of course they are. They've got degrees and everything, doctorates and everything. I'm just a YouTuber who loves football and all that anyway. But there's going to be certain metrics that they must be analysing that not everyone's obviously privy to, really, from a club perspective. It's like, but yeah, he's a very good player going forward, but I do have concerns of him going backwards in terms of defending his own goal, because there's only so much, as I said, with Kyle Walker, your pace can get you out of situations, and Frimpong's on a level of Kyle Walker pace as well. one of the quickest players in European football, for that matter, Frimpong. So, yeah, chat, let us know your thoughts in obviously Frimpong in that regard as well. And you look at obviously similar profiles. Dumfries, top fullback, but what is he, 29 now, chat? Maybe he was like 22, 23 then, maybe. But yeah, you look at the right back position outside of Hakimi, Dumfries, Trent. So I think outside of them three, I'd say there's a lack of quality between. But I've picked out a player, chat, as I said at the top of the show. I've got me three, like, certain picks that I personally would like to. If I was speaking to Richard Hughes, I'd ask him personally about his own thoughts about certain individual player profiles. And we'll go straight onto those player profiles, chat, as well. And this is one of, if you've been watching me for a couple of years as well, chat, this lad, I get why a lot of people have been banging the drum of Bar Kirkes, but Ryan Aït-Nouri, for me, you look at what he's doing in that Wolves team. No disrespect to Wolves, but it's Wolves. This screams to me a bit similar with Andy Robbo in terms of you buying a player that is overperforming his level, if I'm being honest. Like look at this, like these metrics really. And the one great positive, and like in terms of when you analyse Aït-Nouri, you look at the positions he can play from a technical point of view as well. Where's that gone? 1 second there, chance. Where's Buzzy position has gone? Obviously, left back and left midfield. But if you remember the game last season in the FA Cup where Wolves played Coventry, that to me sold it for me. I think if you can remember it in the FA Cup, Aït-Nouri was playing absolutely everywhere. It felt like he was playing centre half, left back, left midfield, centre midfield, striker, centre forward, left winger, right winger. He's so good, man. He's so good from a technical point of view. And as I said, he's going to be turning 24 next month as well. So even 24 years old, Aït-Nouri. I just don't understand why he's been linked with Liverpool in the past, as we all know. But Aït-Nouri, I get why Kirkes is being linked. But for me, Ryan Aït-Nouri should be banging on the door of his obviously Wolves team, asking for if he can leave anyway, because he is his level. And if you bring him into like a Liverpool setup as well, his performance levels are going to go even higher through the roof. Because when you train with better players around you, as I said, no respect to the Wolves players, but they're at a certain level. I think if you come into Liverpool's, which mainly comes down to, as we know, it's all about fundamental first and foremost. It's about having the footballing quality, but it's what Aït-Nouri's like as a personality. Is he good? So he's got it all. All these players that have got to come in, they've got to tick certain criteria as well. Not just being a very talented footballer, but it comes down to attitudes and their values and everything. So yeah, as Brendan Rodgers says, beautiful human being that you've got to be as well. Big up there, Zara. So for me, chat. Oh, do apologise. Zara, thoughts on Stiller, bud? I've not seen a lot of him, bud. I'll get him up in a little second, mate. Zara, what's your thoughts on Stiller, bud? He's been one name that has been linked with Liverpool this season. But if I'm being honest, I watch a fair bit of Bundesliga if it's on anyway. Obviously, it's on Sky and that's in games. As I watched a fair bit by Leverkusen last season. Shout out to Hamburg as well. Hamburg are back in the Bundesliga at long last. Obviously, Kevin Keegan's old team. I think Keegan won two Ballon d'Ors of Hamburg, chat. Obviously, they won the Champions League anyway, because tell you what, Hamburg in the 70s, they were one of the best teams in world football anyway. But yeah, big football club, Hamburg. Like, and like for the last 5-6 years, they've been in the Bundesliga second division, and they've narrowly missed out on like small margins. Really, it's been absolutely crazy. But I'll quickly get to that one as well. But yeah, I'll get his statistics up, mate. I'm gonna have a little look really, because I've not really looked too much into him. And being honest, I've seen the links and everything over the last couple of weeks as well. But chat, if you had a little word with the data lads at Liverpool, I'd be saying, what's your thoughts on Ryan Aït-Nouri? I personally would go for him over Kerkez, if I'm being honest, because I think Aït-Nouri's game is a lot better technically in terms of, as I said, technical take-ons, successful take-ons as well. Obviously, this is attacking metrics as well. Passes attempted, I know everyone's screaming 48%, but that to me screams he's attempting riskier balls in terms of playing defence, splitting passes, looking to try and create opportunities for his Wolves side as well. And yeah, tackles, 84 percentile, blocks quite high as well. Aerials, it's unless you're buying a 6'3" Calaflori to play left back as well. It's gonna be interesting. That's big up there. Okay, that's a great name. I'll tell you what, fair play. I'll get his statistics up as well, mate. But yeah, for me, chat, thoughts. Are you a fan of Aït-Nouri? I am personally. But chat, everyone, this is my choice for right back. Timo Livramento. We've got no chance of getting him. But Livramento, we'd probably need a Wonga loan or something to get him out of Newcastle. Probably about 70, 80 million. Especially Liverpool coming for him. You know what? I was going to say Mike Ashley, but he's not there now anyway. The only way... Can Newcastle... No, Newcastle can't. If Newcastle win their 2 games, he can finish above Arsenal. But yeah, Livramento, chat. He can play left back, he can play right back. He's already won the League Cup, sadly against us. But great profile, age profile, 22, 1.82 metres. I think that comes in around, is it 5'11", 6'1". He's a big height as well. But this lad, man, right back, right midfield, left back. For me, this is everyone's chatting bare whamma bar Frimpong. Why are we not going in for this, lads? And I know we won't get him, but this is the type of profile of a right back for me. Absolute ridiculous football. Oh, is he 5'8"? Oh, I thought he was taller than that. Oh, that's got him down as 1 point. Yeah, but. And I know when you look at his metrics, you're going, what? But personally, I think he's a very talented fullback. You've got to counterbalance that with his age profile as well, 22. And putting him into an elite level environment as well. I think he's more of a defensive minded right back. He's not going to be... It's when you're trying to... What type of profile of right back as well Liverpool want to be doing as well, really, chat. Are Liverpool going to be actively pursuing a more defensive right back as a profile? Or are we going to try and kind of replace Trent in terms of getting his creativity? Well, for me, if I'm being honest, chat, from what I've seen, he's 22 years old, plenty of improvement there. I know the data, you look at that, especially as attacking percentages in terms of goal contributions as well. That's not what you're going to get from Livramento. What you're going to get, for me personally, is a very balanced right back. But what you're not just getting right back, you're getting left back as well. So he can cover 2 positions within the squad. And I think versatility in a system like Liverpool is very paramount. Hence why I do think Joe Gomez has stayed at the football club for a very long time. Because Joe Gomez, centre half, right back, left back as well. Joe Gomez, he's a perfect anti-slot type player, but can we keep him fit? It's like, I've been on YouTube, 7-8 years now? I think everyone's been on YouTube, or when everyone spoke about Joe Gomez. Joe Gomez stayed fit. sounds. It'd be amazing. But it's just... And I think even Jurgen Klopp tried to play... I think Gomez played in that 6 inverted role in pre-season last year as well. It was in the... so... Yeah, chat. I know statistically it doesn't scream out, wow. But me personally, from what I've seen... And his overall potential... I think he's a very talented player. He's got a much higher ceiling than what he's already producing at the minute, if I'm being honest. And chat, these are the... Not that I say that Liverpool would get them, but 2 players that I'd like Liverpool to have a little look at, if I'm being honest. So in terms of this fella, you can see him, Morgan Gibbs-White. And I've got a bit more of a younger option compared to Morgan Gibbs-White as well, if I'm being honest, chat. Morgan Gibbs-White, I think he was linked with Manchester City over the last 6 months as well. He's just turned 25, last couple of months anyway, so 25 years old, attacking midfielder, English quota as well. In terms of this season, 6 goals, 10 assists in the Premier League. In terms of no goals or assists in the FA Cup. But as a profile, he's a big lad. He's certainly a very big lad. Attacking midfield, central midfield, right winger cover for Mohamed Salah if needs be. But I like Morgan Gibbs-White, if I'm being honest, chat. And it's only going to be a matter of time, I'd say another year. If City don't get Wirtz, I think they'll go all out for Morgan Gibbs-White, if I'm being honest. But if City are going for Morgan Gibbs-White, I don't understand why Liverpool wouldn't go for them. So, yeah, chat. Interesting player, interesting profile. Wouldn't be against Liverpool going for Morgan Gibbs-White, but it just depends on the value. 50, 60 million, it's going right now for any footballer. And this one is me very outside chance, but one player that I've watched this season and have been absolutely blown away by his ability as a player. A player that when he moved to Forest, it's another Forest player. And it's that man, Elliot Anderson, chat. And you might go, what? But, yes. He is, for me, a perfect Arne Slot type player. He's got everything about his game. Nearly everything. He's going to be turning 23. I think in and around December time as well. Or November. Anyway, 6th of November. But Elliot Anderson, he's not a massive creator, but he's got 2 goals, 6 assists in the Premier League. But when I've watched him this season, I personally do feel... I don't understand why another top European side hasn't come in for him. If Forest miss out on Champions League football, Morgan Gibbs-White, but most importantly, Elliot Anderson, will be one of the first names out of that football club. You're looking at Murillo, but most importantly, Elliot Anderson for me. At the time when they signed him for Newcastle, I went, what? Like at how much they bought him for? But now, was it 35, 40 odd million or whatever they bought him for? It's pocket change. Absolute pocket change. I feel he could certainly do a job at Liverpool. He offers you a lot of balance. You look at that in terms of the data, extremely balanced in terms of his defensive metrics. His passing attempted can certainly improve. Probably the main 2 statistics. Pass completion, 77.9%. And the other player that I'm going to mention, or not, well, I'm going to have a little look at, but we'll have a little look in terms of other similar profiles, is Martin Zubimendi. You look at that type of player, we know that type of profile Liverpool were looking for was that obviously 6 that can have, most importantly, keep that ball retention. But in terms of when you analyse the profile of Dominic Szoboszlai, he's an absolute running machine. And I feel Elliot Anderson in a Liverpool system could be not your replacement for Dominic Szoboszlai or like another midfielder within within the team as well. But yeah, he's got a lot of potential, if I'm being honest. And you're looking at that pass completion, only ranks in the 19th percentile, but 77.9% pass on accuracy. If he come to Liverpool, a bit similar with Aiton Nuri, that pass on accuracy, you'd expect playing with better players, developing, and still only 22 years old as well, chat. That can go higher, if I'm being honest. Passes attempted, 39 percentile. That to me suggests, again, as I said already on the show tonight, that to me suggests that he's trying a lot of very difficult passes. And yes, they're not coming off. But I'd rather a midfielder in a Liverpool system, as long as we're not getting cut open, might that be ad. But if we've got the right cover behind, you're wanting players to create and look to try and play those like assists, expected goals as well. But you're looking at this defensive metrics, absolutely staggering, and they're amazing, if I'm being honest. And this is what I love about him, his physicality, his ability to get across the pitch really well. You're looking at his tackle percentage, 88 percentile, blocks, 88 percentile, clearances. And again, Forest, when we watch them, this is where it might be not difficult for Elliot Anderson if he did come to Liverpool, but it's trying to adapt them really. And those defensive statistics are quite high because we know the way in which Forest play. But Liverpool, in terms of evolving our game, in terms of a different transition, not a transitional side, but in terms of just continuing to develop our game, in terms of being a lot more efficient on the counter-attacks. But yeah, Chas, what's your thoughts on that as well? Adam Wharton, I think everyone in European football does rate Adam Wharton, but Ozan, the two players, and obviously Adam Wharton's the main one, everyone says Adam Wharton. But for me personally, Elliot Anderson, don't be surprised if he gets a big move. I'd love him at Liverpool, but I know a lot of fans would go, oh, Elliot Anderson and all that. But no, just as a profile, ticks a lot of the boxes for me anyway, but what do I know? But yeah, I love him as a player. And he's played over 2,600 minutes as well. So he's played quite a fair chunk of games. Okay. I'll get Cherky's statistics up, bud. But with Cherky, I said this on Twitter even before, I love him as an attacking player, but his defensive metrics doesn't do enough off the ball, if I'm being honest. Because you look at the profile like Dominic Szoboszlai, and I'll quickly get up. Apologies, chat. It would be interesting to see how Elliot Anderson. I haven't got the settings really where you can compare players, but let's quickly bear that in mind. Hang on, can I print screen there? Yeah, I can. Right, chat. There we go. We'll have to do it on the fly here. Bear with me. Apologies for the editor here, chat. But very unprofessional here, chat. I do apologise. So that's Elliot Anderson, and then we'll try and compare Dominic Szoboszlai in terms of this season. Like, you look at that. Like, this is Dom's statistics, chat. And you look at Elliot Anderson. I know they play not exact same positions anyway. But you look at that. How many minutes has Dom played? Anderson's played 400 minutes less in the Premier League. But you look at that. That is exciting, chat, if I'm being honest. I don't understand why no one's gone in for Elliot Anderson, to be honest, chat. Like, Dominic Szoboszlai's metrics, pass completion. I'm very surprised by Dom's defensive stats, if I'm being honest, chat. I'm very surprised. I thought it would have been much better. Not that he's had a bad season. He's had a very good season for us. He's been instrumental to the way in which we play, as we know. But yeah, like, you look at Dom's statistics this season. When you watch him as an eye test, when all of us as fans, like, he's been so instrumental in terms of pressing off the ball and what he does in terms of rotating and offering the team a lot more protection as well. But yeah, that surprises me, if I'm being honest, chat. So yeah, chat. One thing to take away from tonight, chat. Keep an eye on Elliot Anderson. He'll be getting a big move very, very soon. Come what the end of the season. What's happening here? Oh, there we go. So Elliot Anderson, chat. Keep an eye on him. He's going to somewhere, a team, very, very soon. If Forest don't get Champions League, that was I'll be telling Richard Hughes, have a little look at Elliot. Probably knows about him anyway, but yeah. And the main final one player that we're going to be looking at, chat. Not that we're not getting Zubimendi, as we know. We haven't got big enough mountains on Merseyside, sadly. Maybe if you went over to Wales, there's quite a fair bigger mountains over there. You'd have to go over across the pond in the Whittle and go that way anyway. But yeah, Zubimendi, chat. This is the type of profile that Liverpool, a couple of months back, or in the January transfer window, Liverpool were eyeing up Zubimendi as well. Reminds me of Joe Gomez. Yeah, he's a good player. James Milner, and shout out to James Milner. I think he's getting his new contract. I think Milner's only what? I think he's only like 16 appearances off beating the all-time appearance records. I hope James Milner gets that chance. 20 years as a professional. All that Ribena he drinks anyway. Drink your Ribena, everyone. What a player. But yeah, Ozan. Dara was. We'll quickly get to him in a sec as well, but I'd like to hope he does, if I'm being honest, Dara. But you know, I've been on all the years I've done transfer videos and all that. Like, I wouldn't be against Bajcetic, mainly due to the fact, and this is what's doing my head in, really, even being honest. Not Liverpool fans, but like other rival fans as well, going, oh, he's being linked with X, Y, and Z players and all that. They're massively undervaluing Arne Slot's ability. Like, these rival fans are making players better. Like, this is why, like, I just looked at Elliot Anderson. Like, just look at how good Gravenberg's been in that sixth position. As much as Gravenberg doesn't like, I think he's done an interview this month as well. I think it was for Sky Sports or another sports company or whatnot. And he said, not that he was whinging, he just said, I don't mind playing six, but it's not my natural position, as we all know. Grav's best position is the right-hand side of a midfield three, like he did play for Ajax, where he won, like, it was a 3 Eredivisie titles anyway. So, and shout out, chat. Everyone going, oh, Gravenberg's boss, isn't he? No, we were chatting about Gravenberg 2-3 years ago anyway. I wanted him even before he went to Bayern Munich. Get me on the analysis team. But I suppose everyone knew Gravenberg as a younger player anyway, in terms of all of his data and metrics. Like, the fact that how big he was, and in terms of his technical ability as well, was phenomenal. But in terms of why I've brought up Zubimendi as well, chat, mainly due to the fact of, will be interesting in terms of the profile of a number 6, because I do feel Liverpool need to bring in another 6. Nice one there, Zara. Much appreciated, bud. Thank you very much, mate. Everyone's welcome as well, chat. Not even if you're not a Liverpool fan, chat, anyway. No, everyone. We've got Newcastle fans. We've got everyone on here anyway. But much appreciated, mate. I'll have a little look at Dara Bajcetic stats as well, bud. But chat, what are we saying in terms of the profile of a number 6? Because it is going to be interesting. Zubimendi, I've seen bits of him when he played Manchester United, and he looked absolutely out of it, really. Not to say that if he is to come to Arsenal, I think he'll be a good player. But I don't... It's weird. He's a very technical footballer, and will be interesting, chat. If Liverpool go with a similar... I think they will. A similar profile to Zubimendi, i.e. the player below Zubimendi from the data department, who they have identified as like the player below Zubimendi. Wharton, as we mentioned already tonight, is the dream. I think data-wise, he's a phenomenal footballer, very technical. I'm just hoping City don't end up with Wharton and being on a check because they just go on by everyone. Sorry there, Dada. There we go. Sorry, bud. So we'll get... So speaking of Stiller, we'll have a little look at that one, mate. As I said, not seeing a lot of him, even being on a chat. But left-footed, 24, just turned 24 as well. So 1 goal, 8 assists, 1 goal in the Champions League. And he's playing for Stuttgart as well. Obviously, what's his name's team? Endo's former team. Chat. This is interesting. Very, very interesting. Maybe 1 second here, chance. I'll get the... let's get his... 1 second. Get his transfer market positions and all that up. So, well, no, he's a midfielder anyway, but it'll be interesting to see where his other positions he can play in terms of that midfield. As we know, he's a defensive midfielder. We know that, but can he facilitate in a position as well if needs be? Yeah, there we go. Do apologise there, chance if it's lagging. So yeah, he can play central midfield, and his main position is defensive midfield as well. So yeah, interesting chat. This for me straight away, but I'd have to actually watch him. Dara, if I'm being honest, mate, it's an interesting one to say the least. But if I'm being honest, I'd have to actually watch him a couple of times, mate, if I'm being honest. But a bit similar in terms of when we looked at Dominic Szoboszlai from the eye test, when we've all watched him. If you're I think you're a Liverpool fan, aren't you, Dada? Hopefully you are, Buzz. But we looked at Dominic Szoboszlai's stats like 10 minutes ago, and we weren't, like, when we looked at him, you'd look at them like straight away and you're like, well, we're quite surprised. I know I have. First time I've actually looked at Dominic Szoboszlai's stats this season in terms of the data-wise. But this is interesting. Very interesting, because you look at the tackling statistics, interceptions, and the fact that he's defensive midfielder as well, I'd expect much better than that. But, as we know, he's a very progressive passer. Straight away, that stands out for me is progressive passes. He's in the 1 percentile of European football in terms of top 5 leagues. And the fact that he's played over 3,500 minutes this season, that is one of the most amount of minutes played in European football this season, chat. We've had a little look at some other players, but that is a lot of games in the last 365 days as well. So he's a very good technical footballer. Passes attempted, he's in the 96th percentile. So, and this is what I've just mentioned with Zubimendi as well, though, chat, is you can understand maybe if Liverpool are identifying Stiller why we'd come in for him, because he's a very progressive, good on the ball as well. He's a similar mould to Zubimendi, isn't he? Maybe 1 second there, chat. I'll just quickly go back to in terms of the profile of player, because put that over there. We'll compare to what we've done before as well. So in terms of going back to Zubimendi, so in terms of comparing the profile to Martin Zubimendi, because this is what the data lads will be doing. They'll be looking at Zubimendi and going, right, who's the second best, third best as well. So you're looking at that. So you got Stiller there, chat, and Zubimendi. So this is the player that Liverpool were allegedly in for Zubimendi 6 months ago. And this is why where I do see Stiller linked, and it's weird, because I've just said there, what Zubimendi does offer you is those defensive metrics. Compared to Stiller, his defensive metrics are extremely poor. Extremely poor. Very, very poor. But you've got to counterbalance that with the team that they play for as well. similar when we spoke about Frimpong and when you analyse other players as well. For the bottom half of the teams, i.e. a bottom 3, bottom 5, bottom 6, or a Man United this season, their defensive stats will be higher because they're getting absolutely battered every single week, aren't they? Like the Evertons, the Uniteds, the Spurs. So their defensive metrics will be a lot higher compared to, say, a team higher up in the Premier League that has got a lot more ball possession, a lot more opportunities to create attacking opportunities, and usually with a lot more teams that have a lot more ball retention as well. So they'll have 60-70 percentile. So it's interesting, chat. So that's a side-by-side comparison, really. Passing-wise, metric-wise, and in terms of breaking into the penalty area as well, chat. Stiller, in terms of assists, really good as well, as you can see there. I'll tell you what, these classes have done wonders for me, chat. I can actually see. So as you can see there, I do apologise, that's a bit too small. But yeah, interesting, chat. Very, very interesting. Interesting profiles, to say the least. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Very, in terms of the profile of a number 6, who we go for. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm excited, Reds. I tell you, if you're not excited for next season, Reds, we've won the league. We're not going to make, and this is the thing, chat. That's why I say take some speculation. Well, a lot of the speculation with a pinch of salt, really. As we know, we're in the world of media. And we know, as I say to everyone, when you do see stories and all that, we know how agents work. As I said over the last couple of years, or since I started my channel, agents just use Liverpool's name just to try and get a bit more interest. Because we'll be getting linked with players in the next couple of weeks as we approach the transfer window. We won't be in for them, but it'll just be a case of the agents having a little word with some media outlets going, push his name out, please, and say he's been speaking to Liverpool. When Liverpool, Richard Hughes is probably sat in IB with Arne. I think he's very busy, especially with somebody. But Arne's on his holidays, rightly so. And the lads are obviously in Dubai. They fully deserve it. To say I'm looking forward to the Brighton game, I'd be lying. That's got 4-0 written all over it for Brighton, but it's alright, we won the league. I'd be very surprised if Liverpool win that Brighton game, and I think even the Liverpool players will be as well. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, chat. It's an exciting time to be a Reds, if I'm being honest. Next couple of weeks, next couple of months as well. But we're not going to be making massive changes. We're not going to be making 6-7 transfers. I think it's going to be, you're looking at possibly a 6 coming in. Maybe, a 6 coming in, a 6/8 that can do both jobs. Bajcetic, I know, obviously, was it Dara mentioned Bajcetic? Was it Bajcetic's there, bud? It depends how Arne. We'll have our data department probably analysing, obviously, in the scouts really for Liverpool. We scout our own players in terms of their development. Really, it's not just a case we send our players away and just don't watch them in La Liga. The main thing with Bajcetic, I think he's recently this week did he go off injured, so I'm hoping that is not a bad injury for Bajcetic, because if it is a bad injury, it could be game over really in terms of his Liverpool career, sadly, because we're not in a period of time, because we're here to win. And this is what I love about Arne, probably like all of us. No nonsense. He turns up at Liverpool and went, lads, I'm winning. And if you're not with me, you're going in the transfer window. But yeah. And the lads in the changing room and whole club as went, sounds, we're one of the best teams in world football. The next step for this Liverpool team is, of course, to win the league again, paramount. I think we'd all take next season. Doesn't matter. We get knocked out of Champions League and the FA Cup and the League Cup. But as long as we do really well and win the Premier League, I just want us to see. I think every Liverpool fan certainly are there. And the players, mainly for Salah and Van Dijk and Ali and Robbo. Really, the lads that have been here, that have competed against Manchester City. If I was a player in that dressing room, I'd be looking at Manchester City every single season. Whatever happens off the field. But if you prefer, like, obviously they never say it, but I can say it because I'm a fan. Just City annoy me, to be honest. I know certainly City annoy a lot of our players because they're very good, but Pep, especially if they get Florian Wirtz, chat, he's the biggest checkbook manager going. And that's not me saying he's a bad manager. He's a very good manager. But even Pep Guardiola's been on record saying he's been extremely lucky that he had the greatest player ever to play football in Leo Messi and a certain trio with Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets. Not too bad players, them, are they? But I'm telling you, chat, Haaland will be leaving City in the next 2-3 years anyway. The biggest mistake they made was getting rid of Julian Alvarez. I can't believe they kept hold of Haaland. Since Haaland's come in, I know everyone goes, oh, he had that great season. But that was because no one knew how to defend against Erling Haaland. Now, Chris Wood's on the same amount of goals as Erling Haaland this season, chat. Just deep it. Shout out to Chris Wood. But Premier League defenders know. Swear if Haaland's banged in 40 goals this season. Well, but the Premier League defenders have sussed Erling Haaland out a lot more now. You just got to bide your time with Haaland. And the large majority of the Premier League defenders, they're all about 6'3", 6'4". The big, the physical, the quick. Like you look at like a player like Lacroix. Don't worry, I'm not gonna go full Joey Barton chat with me French accent. But that lad at Crystal Palace, he's extremely quick. You look at a team like Palace as well, though, chat. They've got like Lacroix. Was it the Muniz? Obviously the lad at right back as well. They've got obviously Mark Gahey. So yeah, that's been a great show tonight, chat. And that was the final one I wanted to mention. This absolutely rattled me when I seen it. Have you seen the state of this? Score 90. Shout out to them. I massively disagree with your Ballon d'Or rankings, by the way. Don't let Salah see this, he'll be fuming. It's good to see Salah's been getting some L'Equipe PR out there already, 6 months early. Nice one, Mo. Just do a couple more interviews for the French papers as well, and I think you might be good for the Ballon d'Or next season. But how? Chat, what are we saying? How have they ranked Salah 5th? 5th? They put Pedri. Good player. Nowhere near Salah's goals. Rafinha. Great player. Very good player. Dembele. Great player. My top 3. I think everyone's top 3 in world football would be Salah, Rafinha and Dembele. And then it just depends what you're doing. Like it depends if you've got Liverpool bias or you definitely dislike Liverpool, you're probably putting Salah third. But Yamal first. Did you know Barcelona have been knocked out of the Champions League? I tell you what, if Paris Saint-Germain win the Champions League, it's going to be between Salah and Dembele. Because Dembele, man, the fact that he's turned his career around over the last 12 months, really, since I think the best thing that's happened to Paris Saint-Germain and a lot of those players is that fella went to Real Madrid anyway, Kylian Mbappe. He was the one thing holding that football club back all these years. Who would have thought it? And this is why, as a football club, Luis Enrique has built a team. And this is what Manchester United need to figure out. Like, United have spent the last 10 years buying superstars. It doesn't work. Buy an actual team first. and you might actually start winning football games. Like Paris Saint-Germain and Liverpool, two best teams in European football. But that blew me away, really. I find well, don't. What are they having there? But yeah, it's got 90. Yeah, I don't know. Must be run by an Everton fan by the looks of it, anyway. Either a Man United fan or like an Everton fan or Manchester United fan has done those rankings. If anyone's tuned in, they are not my Ballon d'Or rankings. Be having a word with them. Might send them an email. Go, lads, what are you doing? But yeah, it's ahead of Mo. Yeah, as the thing goes on, like, hello. He's been top player, man. He's been so good to watch. Dembele. Is he rooting for Inter deserve it. A bit similar when Liverpool went to, obviously that'd be their second Champions League final. In 3 seasons, is it, chat? I think it is. Shout out to Romelu Lukaku when he played City. I think all of us were fuming. Romelu Lukaku got man of the match for Manchester City on that night, by the way. Was it that chance he had at the back end of the game? I think got in front of, was it Acerbi? Or Martinez? Lukaku sat there on the line, like, just getting in the way. Lads, just get out of the way, lads. Yeah. Joke. But yeah. I know everyone goes, obviously, Paris Saint-Germain, but I just love that. If anyone's not seen a lot of Paris Saint-Germain, I've watched them a fair couple of times this year. In the Champions League as well, and even when they play does proper football inside. You know when you just watch a team and go, wow, like proper football inside. And just Luis Enrique as a coach, top manager, man. Would be nice if he comes to the Premier League in the future. Ideally not to Manchester City, by the way. Don't want that. But yeah. Oh yeah, SSB. Yeah, it's not mine, mate. Send him an email. Score 90. By the way, chat. If you're just tuning in, going, what is that? That is why I've brought it up. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. Top player, man. But yeah. Go off that screen because everyone will be clicking on going thinking it's my rankings. They are not mine, by the way, chat. As you said there, creator, but yeah, as you said there, SSB. He's a top player, and the one aspect about Yamal that we all like as well is the fact that he's got that big game mentality at the age of 17 as well. He can create. Not until I'd say Messi, in terms of like you watch players when they broke through. Yamal. Kylian Mbappe was, I suppose Kylian Mbappe won the World Cup and won the World Cup very young as well. But it's one of them. Was it Mbappe? Did Mbappe won it as 21, didn't he? Is it the World Cup at 21? Bit similar to Thierry Henry, Titi. Thierry Henry, but yeah. But Yamal, different gravy chat, isn't he? Main thing is they just don't get him injured. I think if they overplay Yamal, like they have done with Pedri and Gavi, really, you only have to look at the amount of minutes played for Gavi and Pedri chat. They are very close, like, to picking up from very serious injuries as well. So it's gonna be one of them. I think anybody at Inter is a Ballon d'Or candidate as well, Jack. It's a great question there, but they've won. Oh, they're not going to win the Serie A. Hang on. Just a quick look at the Serie A table. I know it was extremely close between Inter. 1 second here, chat. Depends. Chat, what's everyone's thoughts on Lautaro Martinez as well? Like, he is a very strange player. Hang on, Serie A. Oh, shout out to, is it Sampdoria? Not Sampdoria. Bologna. Sorry. Bologna won the Super Coppa, the Italian FA Cup tonight, beat AC Milan, which is fantastic for them. It's always great to see, like, not lesser teams, it's quite disrespectful, but the lower teams down in certain individuals leagues as well, because you've got obviously Bologna. They're just outside Bologna. Yeah, let's quickly get it up here, chat, so I can show you, so you can see what I'm seeing. There we go. So that's the Serie A table at the minute, chat. So can I zoom in that? Actually, there we go. So in terms of the Serie A table, so you've got Inter. I suppose. Oh, I tell you what, chat. If you've not seen, so many games are left. Yeah, 2 games left in the Serie A. So you've got the Italian league, and you've got the Portuguese league, chat. Keep an eye on the footy this weekend in the Portuguese league, chat. Benfica are playing Braga and Sporting, level on points, but I think Benfica need to score 3 more goals more. So like they need to beat Sporting's goal difference by 3. But the big game was it last week when Sport and Benfica played. I watched highlights of it anyway, but Benfica were winning that game. What was it? Oh no, sorry. I think Sporting were winning that, and he scored Benfica scored the equaliser in the second half. But yeah, that was a madness game, really. And shout out Diamande as well. He's a very, as we were speaking about centre halves. But in terms of Inter, as you said there, Ozan, in terms of potential Ballon d'Or candidates, I don't think so, but maybe if Inter won the league and they won the Champions League, it's difficult, mate, if I'm being honest. You look at the players, trying to think, Foram's had a decent season. Bastoni, you know my feelings on Bastoni, chat. No chance of him getting him out of Inter. I've said for years, like the fact that if there was a centre back that Liverpool could sign, any of them would be Bastoni. I've said for years, absolutely adore that lad. Him and Barella, but Barella's 28 now. Maybe, as I was saying 5 years ago, wanted us to sign him, but just sadly, he's one of those players that I don't think will leave. So you're looking at their squads. Yeah, to your comment there, Ozan, I don't foresee anyone, if I'm being honest. In terms of the top performers for Inter this season, certainly say, obviously, Foram, top player, man. Lautaro speaks for himself anyway. Dumfries had a very good Champions League season already. Marko Arnautovic. How old's Marko Arnautovic now, chat? He's been round the gaff forever. 36. Wow. Remember when he was... He's been one of those players that... Yeah, so... Chat, that was one of them anyway, so... It's been one of them. If you're wondering why you're just tuning in, we're having a look at those awful Score 90 rankings. Yeah, it's not mine, chat, by the way. Salah be winning it every single day of the week. So, chat, that draws a conclusion tonight. 20 of yous in here tonight, everyone. Much appreciated. This late on in the night as well. Plenty of bits for me to cut out of it in terms of videos as well, chat. As I said, make sure you do tune into Anfield Index as well. Please do support everyone on over there. I know I keep on saying it, but it doesn't go unnoticed from me and any of the lads and ladies on Anfield Index as well. The great support that you show. I do see you all in the comments on everyone's shows, so like Ozan and Alodias as well. So much appreciated, everyone. And thank you for tuning in tonight, as always, chat. So make sure Kulusevski, Dada. That's a good one. Right, for you, Dada, because you've been very active in the chat, mate. Thank you for... It's good to see a couple of new faces in here as well, chat. That'll be the final. We'll have a little look at the analysis on Kulusevski as well. He's a very good player, mate. One second here, chat. Let's get him up. For Dada. Well, for us, really, chat. Have a little look. Kulusevski. In terms of his data. Why is that? Oh. up here a sec, chat. Where is he? Oh, yeah. Now, I saved me other player. I didn't include me a forward. You know, if you watch me for years, but I am Bremo. Wow, what a footballer, by the way, Chas. And not just that he's got the goals this season. I've been banging the drum for about 2-3 years anyway. Brian Bremo. I think everyone thinks he's a bit older than he actually is, but he's only, 24, 25? But yeah, tell you, he's one player that will... He's already played extremely well in Mawissa. Right, let's get Kulusevski's up for data. In terms of the data. Have a little gander. And I'll tie this in really to... no, apologies, just zoom out. So, Kulusevski there, chat. He is sadly wasted at Tottenham. I'll tell you that now anyway. So in terms of this season, 7 goals, 4 assists, which is very good. If it wasn't for those goals, Spurs would be in the bottom 3. Well, I suppose not really, because Ipswich and Southampton are in the league anyway. But yeah, tell you what, yeah, well, this fella plays for Spurs, by the way, chat, and you've got no Harry Kane. Tell you what, Zara, what a shout, lad. I know I've liked him as a player, but tell you what, I'm blown away by these stats, bud. They are massively surprised. I've not looked at his statistics here, but that's a fantastic shout by Zara tonight, bud. Tell you what, wow. So many minutes he's played? 3,000 minutes. Wow. How much do you reckon we could get him for, chat? Depends. But it's that added saying of just annoying Daniel Levy, though. Daniel Levy, man. Absolute nightmare to deal with. Even if he was selling you a bag of Haribo, he'd charge you about 70 mil, mate. And probably charge you a couple of Taylor Swift concerts as well, or probably add on a couple of NFL tickets anyway. Because that's all. I suppose it's battle of the rubbishy. I find deep it, chat. You've got either Tottenham or Man United getting to the Champions League. How? But we know it's been saved by other teams not dropping into that. But yeah, Tara, that is phenomenal. Data wise, absolutely fantastic. And how old is he? Is he 25? Yeah, so he's just turned 25. So next season he'll be perfect age range, really. Chat, how old was Sadio Mane when we signed him? Was he 23, 24? So, you know the data lads at Liverpool will be looking at... It's that perfect age range, really. Like, from 22 to, 25. But obviously, the metrics, the data lads at Liverpool will be looking at certain individual. But yeah, he's top player, man. Dada. Great shout, bud. Tell you what, that's a name to keep an eye on. Well, that's certainly Dada. If he's available, depends how much we've got in our tank, really, in terms of dealing with Daniel Levy. Quickly look at Brian Mbeumo. Right, it's Brian Mbeumo. What's his date? So there we go. A forward. So obviously that compares as attacking midfielder / winger. But as we know, Brian Mbeumo this season predominantly plays as a 2-prong attack with Wissa. But chat, this for me is interesting. And you know me, chat, if you watch me for a couple of years, I've been wanting Brian Mbeumo. But yeah, for me, top player, striker-wise, possibly. If you played him through the middle, I think he could certainly do a job at Liverpool, Brian Mbeumo. But I know a lot of people might go, oh, Brian Mbeumo, you bought one of them. Just looking at that. Across the box. Passes attempted. It's quite high in terms of passes attempted. Progressive carries. Very good at carrying that ball. And what you're getting what you're getting. Pressing machine. So if he's playing striker, and that's one aspect, as we know, with Bryan Mbeumo, or just Liverpool strikers in general in the past, i.e. Bobby Firmino. Jimenez, for obviously when he was under Arne Slot at Feyenoord, obviously he's doing really well at AC Milan this season. Obviously couldn't quite get the Italian Cup over the line tonight, but yeah, chat. But again, price value, Bryan Mbeumo. I'm hoping he doesn't go to Chelsea, because if you're Chelsea, and hopefully Top Bowley's not watching this stream, because if you've seen it, it'd be going and buying Bryan Mbeumo. He is exactly what Chelsea needs, and certainly what Liverpool potentially would need as well. Because if we were to lose a Jota or a Núñez, I'm going from Bryan Mbeumo, and possibly, especially if Liverpool aren't going in for the market for like an Isaac, or we get outpriced by another player. But Bryan Mbeumo, chat. Yeah, there we go. He's my other striker attacking option. But as Dara said, what a shout that is, by the way. Comments that are nice. Kulizeski. So there's players out there, chat, and this is why. Take it with a pinch of salt, really, with some of the names that'll be getting linked over the next couple of weeks, really. Especially when the transfer window opens in, 2 weeks? There's value there in the market. Like, player like Bryan Mbeumo, probably looking at 50, 60 million? There's a deal to be had there. And I think 60 million for Bryan Mbeumo sounds fantastic value for money. 25 years old as well. Kulizeski, as Dad has alluded to. If anyone just tuning in, we'll quickly go back on that player. Seems anyone... Because I haven't looked at Kulizeski's data this season. But, so, in terms of midfielders, in terms of where, in terms of midfield position, very good. Played over 3,000 minutes as well. And in terms of attacking mid/winger, not as appealing, really. But even still, very good metrics, to say the least. Very balanced across the board in terms of attacking, passing-wise, and then defensive-wise as well. Very good in terms of defensive recoveries, as we just alluded to with Bryan Mbeumo. Good tackles, good interceptions. So that's one metric that, chat, when you do see some of the links in the next couple of weeks, we need a pressing monster in terms of forward positions, midfield positions, and defensive positions as well. So, plenty to get stuck into, chat, in terms of the next couple of weeks. Plenty to speak about and all that. Hope you have enjoyed tonight's show, chat. It's been great to speak to you all. Much appreciated, as I said, chat. Hope you found it a bit informative, really. You've learned a bit as well. But as I said, chat, I'll do a couple of these over the next couple of weeks as well. As I said, it won't be as regular, but it'll probably be a bit more of a longer one. Maybe one episode a week, and then we'll just chop up the shows as well. But make sure you do head over to Anfield Index as well, Reds. Plenty of shows over there with the lads as well. They'll be doing all the data shows and everything. So, yeah, be intriguing. But certainly value out there, chat. Certainly a lot of value in the market. Because you've just got to look. Like, dream-wise, striker-wise, we all know. If we could pick a player and money wasn't an issue, we'd all pick Isaac. We would. But you've just got to think about it. Liverpool are not going to spend, and this is why we laughed. We've all laughed at the Wirtz stories. Florian Wirtz is not going to be going for that in less than 100 million. You've got to think strategically, and this is what the data lads and Arne will be like. So if Liverpool want to do a bit of business, maybe you're looking at i.e. a 6, another attacker, another centre-half that can play either left-back or right-back, or ideally both. And then it's just dependent on who leaves. So if Elliott goes, that's great money, 40-50 million. I'll say that, but Kelleher's going, not for a lot of money. He's only got, a year left? Or is he a free transfer this season? Or whatever. He's got 12 months left. So we know the players that are leaving, possibly. We've mentioned already, Chiesa looks like he's going. So that's freeing up of wages. So i.e. what you would have give Chiesa in terms of wages across that period of time. And you probably, hopefully, get a bit of get a bit of money out of Napoli, get some of that off some end money, get about 15, 20 million, maybe make a profit off Chiesa. We can certainly make a profit, depends who you sell them to though. But plenty to get stuck into Reds this season as well. But as I said, there's 15 shots in the second leg of Inter's tie and lost the ball. Yeah, wow. Yeah, that is. Was that with your Malbud? Yeah, that's certainly an aspect of his game that needs to wear. And he wants to build a squad. Yeah, I'll tell you what, SSB. Yeah, their squad's extremely old, but it's a common occurrence with Italian. If anyone's watched, obviously, Italian sides in the 70s, 80s, obviously one of the best defenders ever to grace a football pitch. And this is what makes me laugh. Like, we all know football's evolved. Like, Franco Baresi, though, chat, if you've not seen him play, I certainly wasn't alive, but from what I've watched, documentaries and all that, the art of defending, like, certainly Van Dijk would have studied his game. Any top defender wants to be a top defender in Europe. We'll be watching, obviously, compilations of Maldini, very good himself. But I think who Maldini learns quite a lot off was certainly that man, Franco Baresi, because he wasn't the tallest. What was he? 5'10", which is quite tall. But in terms of centre half, like, the game's evolved massively. But what he lacked in height, he made up in terms of his brain. A bit like Fabio Cannavaro as well. Don't let Jamie Carragher say anything about Cannavaro or Baresi anyway. Obviously similar heights to Lisandro Martinez, but it's night and day really with Cannavaro and that. But yeah, don't get me started on Martinez. Awful centre half, I'm being honest. Yeah. So yeah, SB, they'll eventually get it, but it wouldn't surprise me. It's a tried and trusted, really, that Inter side. But if you had to pick a centre half, bud, you know my feelings on Bastoni, but no chance getting him out of Inter, sadly. For anyone, for that matter, really, even a Man City as well. No, Ozan, thank you, mate. No, behave, Dale. What's the right? I'll let you off. Yes, because that's going miss. Willie? How come? Injury or suspension? There's no way. Does he got suspended? Ozan, why? Not too sure, but on that one. But yeah, Ozan, what is he suspended or is he picked up an injury? Oh, there's no way he's picked up. Well, fair enough. But chat, enough for me. Massive thank you everyone for tuning in. Still over 15 of yous in here. Much appreciated, everyone. Coming close to 2 hours. Time has flown by. I've certainly enjoyed it. Hopefully you've enjoyed it as well, Reds. As I say, anyone tuning in, anyone lurking in the background, hope you have a lovely rest of your day tomorrow as well. And yeah, get involved on Anfield Index. And thank you everyone for tuning in tonight as well. And yeah, chat, as I said, if the live's done out, the videos will be going. If you're ever watching some of the videos, obviously a lot of these videos will be getting clipped up anyway on the channel throughout the week when I find some time to edit them anyway. But if you can, just drop a like on the video and get involved in the comments as well. Massively does help out as well, everyone. But have a lovely rest of your night, everyone. See you sometime this week, a bit late. Probably be a bit back end of the week as well. Probably Tuesday, Wednesday time, really. I'll do another stream on obviously Anfield Road as well. But Reds, enjoy the football. Enjoy the Reds getting battered by Brighton about 5-0. Because the lads are on the bevies, or the other lads that are drinking their Ribena as well. They're having a whale of a time, and rightly so. They've won the league. If you didn't know any rival fans, tell you what, I'm never going to get tired of saying that, Reds. We can say that all the way up until next season, May time. Do you know we won the league? But Reds, see you later, everyone, and thank you for tuning in.